Hi, it's Nik Laming here, coming to you from the Loyalty Summit 2025 in London. And I have the pleasure to be speaking with Kim from Neoday, the CCO there, about their product and what they're doing that seems to be fairly transformational in the loyalty space, which we don't often have the opportunity to say when it comes to tech in loyalty. But maybe you could start by just giving us a little bit of background on who Neoday is, who you are, and where you've come from, and what's so special about it.
Thanks, Nick. First of all, thanks for having us. We're really a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here. Very quick rundown on Neoday and what we do and who we are. We are a tech company, and we provide our customers with the tools to build a loyalty program or to enrich an existing loyalty program. We are the tech spin-off of a loyalty agency called Magnets, based in the Netherlands, that has over 2 decades of experience in the loyalty space, building programs for Heineken, Friesland Campina, and very big brands in FMCG and in retail. At a certain point, we saw that there was a lot of overlap between the projects that we were building for our customers, and we decided to take all the learnings and expertise that we had and put it into a SaaS platform that we started building over 4 years ago. First, just for our internal clients, and now, since the past 2 years, we came to market as an independent company.
And what are the kind of clients that you've been working with, and that maybe you're working with now, just so we can get an idea?
We are working, focusing mostly on customers in the retail industry, FMCG, leisure, and petrol industry. That's where we have our customers like Tesco, Texaco, JBL, and Auchan. But we are looking to move into multiple verticals.
And we've heard lots of stories about why people's tech is better than others. So what have you got to sort of back that up? What's your point of difference versus the market?
That's an excellent question. I can give you 3 points. So one is the fact that we have our front end out of the box. Headless is a very strong trend in the industry right now, which is great if you have a lot of development resources. But if your development resources are not so big or not limitless, and or they are just caught up with other projects, then having our technology and having our front ends out of the box available means that you can start really fast. It's a one-time implementation. The integration is extremely simple, and then the marketers are fully independent to run everything that they want to. The second point is the fact that we are marketers, and we have built our technology for marketers. And that means that our back office is extremely intuitive and very easy to use. Most of our customers have loyalty teams of 1 or 2 people managing the whole program, and our software makes it extremely easy to use. I always have a test that if I can use it, then pretty much everyone can use it, and I can definitely use Neoday.
I actually used to use my mum as the example there.
I'm not sure about my mum.
I always forced the team to ensure that she understood it and she could use it, and in which case a lot of people can.
I agree. I think that's a really good case. The third part where we differentiate is our time to market. Once the go-ahead is given, we can be live and up and running within 10 weeks, fully integrated into the POS, into the CRM, into a customer's app, everything. 10 weeks is a promise. We can do it faster. Just to give you an example, with Tesco in Central Europe, we were fully integrated and live within just 6 weeks.
And I did, when I was looking at your organization and your profile, I saw that you picked up a couple of awards, I think, with Tesco recently in Dubai. What was that for?
Yes, thanks for mentioning. We're very proud of that, of course. About 2 weeks ago, we have won the best retail loyalty program worldwide for Tesco. And what we did with Tesco is, well, everyone knows Tesco Club Card. It's leading loyalty program globally. And the question that they asked us was, how can we convert plastic Club Card members into digital, into the app? Because people that were using the app were spending significantly more in the stores than people who had the plastic card. And what we have done is we created, together with our sister company Magnets, fully A to Z campaign, which was a hybrid scratch card campaign. So people would be getting, I have the card here, would be getting this little physical piece of paper for every 15 euro that they spent in the store. Then you would open it up. There was a unique QR in it. If you did not have the app yet, you would be prompted to download the app. If you already had the app, you would go straight to the win promotion. Now, normally, campaigns like this have up into single-digit adoption rates, click-through rates. And with this specific campaign, it was going into over 25%. So the adoption was really well. The participation was really well, and we have increased the plastic to app conversion by 800%. In total, the award pool was you could win a prize. It was tied to a big sports event. It was tied to the World Cup of Ice Hockey in the Czech Republic. Tesco was the main sponsor, so you could win a VIP treatment to the hockey finals. Later on, we did the same thing with the Euro, the soccer tournament in Germany, and you could win a VIP treatment to the games, which was a very desirable prize for the customers. And the rest of the prize pool was also free products, coupons. Coca-Cola would participate. So a lot of the prize pool was funded by suppliers, which added up to making the program ROI positive really, really fast. The full campaign ran for a few months, and within 3 months, the whole campaign was ROI positive and paid for by the results that we gotten from the customers, but also by the prize pool funded by the suppliers.
So that was an offline, driving people from offline to online in the app. And
yes.
Presumably then it's all about sustaining that and the kind of activities then that you can bring to the fore, again, using your platform in the app, like gamification. Is that what it's all about?
This is very much about gamification, and yes, we are specialized in that omni-channel loyalty. So driving offline to digital and digital back to offline. We love working with customers with a big offline footprint, because that's the part where loyalty still has a lot of value to add, driving offline behavior. And that's also where the gamification part comes in. We've been hearing a lot about gamification in the industry recently, but also today on the panel, normally gamification is being talked about as just games, like a spin the wheel. We want to correct this notion that, yes, a game is a form of gamification, but gamification is a much broader psychological concept than just having a small, nice, fun game. Gamification is adding playful or game type elements into non-game situations in order to change customer behavior. And that's exactly what we want to do. To be completely honest, points and tiers are also a form of gamification. Milestones are a form of gamification. Challenges are a form of gamification. There are much more interesting ways to gamify the whole loyalty program than just a mini game. The mini game is fun, but it's not the only thing that you should do.
Yeah, and I really agree with that whole dive into the fact that this is actually about psychology. It's not playing a game, but it's literally about gaming psychology and the fact that we're wired to be into challenges, to seek out things that like we can get for free, like rewards and status and so on. But all too often these programs are quite boring, and I think they are in violent agreement on that they need to become more exciting, they need to become more engaging, and presumably that's one of the objectives of your platform, is to enable that.
It is, and I'm glad you brought that up. The thing is, people are not always acting rationally, and we can seize that opportunity because that irrationality is predictable. So that means that we can anticipate on it, and we can actually use it in order to change behavior. Little fun fact, I am a psychology student, so I'm a psychology major. I just decided to go into marketing instead of into academics, but this is what I love. How can we use the irrationalities of people in order to change that behavior? And I think there are so many ways to do it. I'm going to give you one specific example of what we are using in our conversations with clients. We have there's a big food retailer in Germany that's now offering free Disney Plus subscription if you spend 400 euros per month on groceries in that store. It's a great price, right? I mean, especially if you have children, even if you don't have children, then Disney Plus is a really good reward to get. For me, I would never be able to spend 400 euros at that store. I don't think we spend 400 euros in general on groceries, but let alone spend in that specific store. If I would see that campaign, I would be lost. On the other hand, you have a lot of people that easily spend more than 400 euros on groceries in that store. So they're giving away Disney Plus subscriptions to people who would be coming anyway. What we want to do is, first of all, individualize such a campaign and see how we can stretch each and every customer spend by just 10%. That bottom line impact is enormous. So if I spend 50 euros a month in that store, we could stretch it and make a challenge that would go up to 55. And if you would be spending 400 euros, we would stretch it and go on to 440 euros. The thing is, that way we would be incentivizing incremental behavior instead of existing behavior. And we would include the whole customer pool instead of just a certain subset that's already spending enough. And that is exactly the part that we focus on quite heavily.
And you mentioned earlier on that your clients can use the platform, so it's very much self-service, but how do you make sure that those kind of insights and techniques that you just mentioned about, let's individualize this offer so that we're not just getting those people who spend 401 euros a month and attracting them, but we're varying the offer so that we can attract a broader audience, whether they're spending less or more? How do you build that into the platform so that me as a client who doesn't know that, let's say, how do you make sure that they can benefit from that sort of knowledge and experience that you have?
So the thing is, we are, as I said before, we are marketers ourselves, and we know what the challenges are if having been on the other side of the table. So we have tried to build our back office in such a way that marketers can easily make very impactful decisions without going through a lot of complexity. We know that there are companies out there that if they want to run a simple stamp card, that it will take them a year to build and it will take them a year to implement. There are other technology vendors in the loyalty space that once you sign a contract, it will take you 12 to 18 months in order to start using the software. That is not acceptable in 2025. It was not acceptable 5 years ago, or maybe not even 10 years ago, but it's definitely not acceptable anymore. So making sure that the marketing team has the full independence and autonomy to run things themselves is extremely important. Yes, everything is built as a self-serve platform, but if necessary, a partner could operate it for them or we could operate it for them. But the premise, again, is that the client, the customer, can run campaigns themselves.
And is that a departure from the traditional way of doing things? And do the clients need to resource up? Do they need to skill up in order to be doing this themselves, as opposed to relying maybe on a technology team or an outsourced provider?
They definitely do not have to rely on the technology team anymore. So once we have done the implementation, marketing can go ahead and do whatever they would like to run and experiment and test and everything. When it comes to relying on a service provider like an agency or a consultant, that could still be the case, but that depends on the strategy of the customer. We see a lot of customers out there that are in-housing this, but in some cases, it's just not possible because they cannot find the people, and that will make it difficult. So when it comes to resourcing, it depends on the situation of the customer, but they can operate themselves. When it comes to skilling up, yes, they will have to learn the platform. But again, our focus has been on being extremely easy to use and being very intuitive. So we provide a handful of trainings, and once that is done, you should be able to run it yourself. We have a customer success team ready for the customers to use and help them making sure that they can maximize the value of our technology. And that's exactly the situation. that is exactly the kind of relationship we want to have with our customer. Our customer is the domain expert. We are the experts in loyalty. They can use our expertise. They can tap into everything that we know and that we see across different industries. And that will make the whole program stronger.
And how do you see the new technologies, the Gen AI, and how do you see that impacting the future and what the future looks like for your product and your clients' use of it?
I think the future is very exciting. And I was a little bit in doubt with your last question on whether I should do the drum roll and here comes AI. I chose not to, but we focus a lot on what we call machine learning, which in fact is a part of AI, of course. When it comes to creating individualized campaigns and coming up with a challenge, mining thousands and thousands of rows of transactional behavior, you cannot do that. You don't want to do that manually. So we build the algorithms, we build the machine learning on top of those data sets in order to come up with a very personalized one-on-one campaign for all of the customer. That's not us doing it ourselves. That has to be done through AI. And I think that for us, the big power of AI is going beyond segmentation. So for the past 15 years, when I was still running my own marketing campaigns, I saw that segmentation is a very powerful way to move into personalized marketing, but it's still putting people in groups. And with AI, we finally have the opportunity to break down segments and go into individualized offerings. If we can see in transactional information that you are buying everything in a grocery store instead of, but not if we can see from all the transactional information that you are buying everything in a grocery store, but not fresh items like fruits and vegetables, we can make the assumption that you're buying them elsewhere. And what we want to make sure is that our customers will increase their slice of the pie and that you are going to change your behavioral patterns and that you will also buy those products at our customer stores. So we can come up with a challenge looking at categories that you have not bought before and put items in there that you know that you buy a lot, making it very recognizable so you can think that the challenge is feasible for you, but also cross-category items and SKUs that are not in your purchasing behavior in order to create new routines in your behavior that after a certain amount of time will become a new pattern.
And as part of your introduction earlier on at the Loyalty Summit, you said that you thought that travel companies and airlines could probably learn from retail in a lot of respects for loyalty and beyond. Can you expand on that a little more now you've got a bit more time and free reign?
I think so, yes. Tomorrow was very short, of course. I think the biggest thing that travel industry can learn from retail when it comes to the loyalty space is the customer engagement. In travel, the purchasing frequency is much lower than in retail. So it's also much harder to grasp the attention of the customer. And there's a window of opportunity from booking up to, let's say, in an airline situation, up to the flight. There is this window of opportunity that you can communicate with the customer, and then you're at the airport, the flight's done, and then it's gone. And if in the business travel world, I mean, we all fly a lot, of course, so we have multiple touch points throughout the year, some more than others. But for a normal consumer who just goes on a holiday, sometimes by car, sometimes by plane, that means that they are in market for airlines only a few times, only once every few years. And that makes it even more important to be top of mind. It makes it more important to stay in touch with the customer. And that is what retail is really good at and where the travel industry can learn from.
Excellent. Well, thanks for your time, Kim. It was great to meet you and hear about the product, and wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you.